was a California August in '82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest you step in, we finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife, right? People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the noobs online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by SCO. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. No. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spam. I said my heart's wide open, goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spams. Yeah. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Waddy Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Waddy Crackers spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGT. Once again, flying solo. That's right. I'm here all by myself. We got Finbar off doing some work stuff. Hammock Man is still MIA. Blinded Braille has gone Hollywood. And Ninja Kitty has been future endeavored. So it's just me here solo. We got to find a new crew. I got to hire some new talent. Might have to start a Geek Getaway talent search. Get some new blood, new faces around here. But what's up, everybody? Real big thank you. We got over 1,300 subscribers now. We're at 1,305, I believe, which is fantastic. We keep growing. The train has no brakes. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep climbing that mountain until we hit 10K. Then, of course, big face reveal. You'll see what I look like. Right now, I am a little bit under the weather. I need a sign-up bonus of 10K. Ooh, I don't know. We could swing that 56K warning. Yeah, we'll put a pin in it. We'll keep you in the dossiers and the files and let you know. We'll call you. Don't call us. How's that sound? But yeah, feeling a little under the weather. That's why yesterday I canceled. We were supposed to do 2 live streams of gaming, and I canceled them both because I was feeling pretty sick. Still feeling a little sick today, so hopefully I'm not too low energy because we got a couple of things to talk about. We need to talk about Nintendo sending Valve a DMCA notice and what's up with that. We got to talk about Activision Blizzard getting not even a slap on the wrist, but this is an insult to everybody who complained about loot boxes. They got a fine, and man, was it poultry sum. Of course, we got to talk about that big Metal Gear Solid collection coming out. It's gonna have five games on it. It should be a good one. I haven't played a lot of those Metal Gear Solid games, so this might be my time to pick them up. Of course, people complaining about Alan Wake being digital only, so we're going to take a look at what's going on with that. And of course, like the title suggests, we got to talk about that PlayStation Showcase 2023 happened just a few days ago. We got to talk about all the big announcements, all the games coming out, everything, all the excitement. Hope you can feel it. I can feel it. Thanks, Luke. Thanks. I'll eventually feel better. I'm not someone who uses medicine. I don't like taking drugs. I don't like using the medicine. So I just got to power through it. Hopefully you guys are all good. I know the weather's been nicer. People have been going out. They don't want to hang out here on a Saturday. They want to go out and party. But that's okay. You can always watch us on the replay. We appreciate the replay watchers. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And, of course, share this with your friends because they're going to want to hear this. They're going to want to know all the insider information that we deliver here on this channel. With that said, my week has been pretty decent. I got 2 games on review copy. One is Replicator. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter. So we're probably going to show that off tomorrow. The other game is Dark Quest 3. It is a turn-based RPG in the vein of tabletop D&D with a little bit of card collecting flair. Just a little. It's pretty decent. Been having a fun time with both games. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with all of you. Like I said, tomorrow we'll probably play one for like 90 minutes. Then we'll cut the stream, start a new stream, play the other one for 90 minutes. That's the goal anyway. Other than that, I've just been chilling. I had to finally, pull the trigger, and I bought my tickets to Too Many Games in June. So at the end of June, if you're at Too Many Games, was it the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of June? If you're there, I'll be there all 3 days. I'm walking around. You might see a stray frog and a Sidekick Max. So who knows? You might see me there. You might get an early face reveal if you know where to look. Because I will not be walking around with a mask. I'm going to be maskless. Just going to be walking around in my civvies. So, you can catch me there. Can I ask you about Tommy returning so I can get banned from the show? We don't ban people for asking those kind of questions, Jam. I know on Amico Forever, I was going to do an analysis of Amico Forever. Excuse me. Wednesday, when we did the Amico Forever, the real Amico Forever, we had DJ Slopes on, and I didn't want to get DJ Slopes involved in all the drama surrounding, the haters, the non-haters. So I was going to do a deep dive of the Amico Forever comeback show, DJC and them. Probably just make a video on that, because like I said, normally we would have just did it Wednesday. We would have clicked over and stream sniped them. But I had DJ Slopes on, and like I said, I didn't want him to get involved in all the drama and all the pettiness. We'll leave that up to us. Yeah, I did see that Super Chat got banned. Banning Super Chatters, that's terrible. I never would ban you for sending me a Super Chat. I might not read it if it's like racist or something, but I'm not going to ban you. Tony, wear a Dr. Doom mask like Mad Max. Nah, can't do it. I can't cover up this beautiful mug. So you're going to see me there. I had to get plane tickets. I had to get a hotel room. Like I said, the hotel was probably the most expensive thing, then the plane tickets, and then the convention, and then I got to pay for all the stuff while we're there. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be this expensive, but it is costing me a pretty penny. I might have to unload the shell to pay for the trip. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll get it on credit. I'll get everything on credit. That's right, George. I'm too good for a mask. That's why I just turned the camera off. I mean, I don't have a camera, so can't see my face. You know, it happens. It happens. All right. But enough about my week. Enough about me and all my future plans. The show on the 24th? So on the 24th of June, there might not be a show. This might be a first in Gabbing with Geeks history. Ever since we started this, I prided myself on never missing a Saturday. We're here. I said Saturdays, 7:05. The time has changed. We pushed it back to 7:35. Today, pushed it back to 8 o'clock. Sometimes we run a little late. But overall, we're here on Saturday. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a holiday, if it's a regular day, we'll either have a live show or a recorded show for like Christmas. But I will be out of town. Like I said, on 22nd is when I leave. I'm going to get there a day early in Philadelphia, so me and Sidekick Max can see the sights and look around before we go to the convention the next day. You know, get settled in. So I'm going to be gone all weekend. I'm not going to have access to the computer. I'm not going to have access to anything unless I can convince Blinded Braille or one of the other guys to host the show and take over for a week. We might not have a show. We might actually miss a day. This crazy. It's crazy. Why is talking about Tommy taboo now? Well, because if you talk about Tommy, then you have to talk about the H Bomber Guy video. You have to talk about the Slopes video. You have to acknowledge all the things that Tommy did that were wrong, all the things that Tommy lied about, all the stories, all the promises that were made. They don't want to confront any of that, right? They don't want to confront the truth. So basically, they just ignore Tommy's part in all the fiasco, and then they don't have to discuss it, right? They don't have to discuss any of the things. Are you having to pay extra to rent Max for that trip? Nah, I just told the neighbors that I'm gonna, take them out of town for a couple of days. They're real understanding about that. They're like, yeah, no problem. They'll give us a weekend free. And I was like, yeah. Right? So it sucks. I did have to pay like extra airfare and hotel room and convention tickets and all that, and I'm gonna have to feed them for 4 days. So that kind of sucks. But I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens when you have children. You gotta pay for them. Yeah, they're great neighbors, yeah. They're doing what investors do. They protect their investment. Yeah, that's pretty much. That's why Tommy's been banned from discussion. That's why the Facebook group banned all the discussion about Tommy and stuff. And really, like I said, I'm going to do a analysis video, deep dive, whatever you want to call it, into Amico Forever. Probably do it tomorrow, have it up Monday. So Memorial Day, you'll have a nice little video. Because there was some nuggets, right? There was some really stupid things that were said on that show that really need to be called out, really need to be pointed out. So we'll see. Like I said, probably a video. Maybe if I can convince Hammock Man to jump on stream, maybe we'll do a live stream of it. But it's probably going to be a video. Probably. All right. Fuck. Why am I yawning? All right, time to talk about the news. See what's been going on this whole week in the gaming landscape. All right, so Nintendo sends Valve a DMCA notice to block Steam release of Wii emulator Dolphin. Interesting here. The GameCube and Wii emulator developers say the Steam release is indefinitely postponed. On Friday, the developers behind open source GameCube and Wii emulator Dolphin received a DMCA takedown notice from Nintendo, blocking Dolphin's impending release on Steam. Now, I don't understand how Nintendo can do this. From my understanding, an emulator is legal, right? It's the ROMs that are illegal. That's why you can host a site having emulators. You can host a site you download an emulator technically, but as long as you're not hosting ROMs or selling ROMs or downloading ROMs, technically it's all supposed to be copacetic. As far as I know, there's nothing proprietary about the emulator that belongs to Nintendo. There's nothing that Nintendo owns, so I don't know how Nintendo can even do a DMCA takedown. Why is this legal? Yeah, unless you need BIOS. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like either the BIOS or the ROM. Maybe because the system's newer, it's got a emulation isn't the problem. It's the source code having keys. Well, there you go. That's what it is. Like the PS2 or PS1 BIOS. Yeah. You can tell. I'm not a big emulator fan. I just know a little bit. Back in the day, used to play with them, but not no more. I got a job now. I got money. I don't need an emulator. The development team launched a Steam page on March 28th and announced on the Dolphin blog, writing, "We're pleased to finally tell the world of our experiment. This has been the product of many months of work, and we look forward to getting it in users' hands soon." And that'd be nice to have a little Dolphin emulator on my Steam Deck. The legal notice, reviewed by PC Gamer, is addressed to Valve's legal department and dated May 26, 2023. Because the Dolphin emulator violates Nintendo's intellectual property rights, including but not limited to its rights under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, anti-circumvention and anti-trafficking provisions, 17 USC 1201, we provide this notice to you of the obligation to remove the offering of the Dolphin emulator from the Steam store. Read the document. So there is some anti-circumvention jargon, I guess, in the DMCA. But again, from my understanding, a lot of websites host emulators with no issue. So this just seems weird. Under the DMCA, notices like this one are sent to server providers, and Valve in this case, who must then notify the allegedly infringing party. The Dolphin development team has the option to file a counter notice with Valve if it believes the emulator doesn't violate the DMCA as Nintendo claims, or to comply with the takedown. If the team does file a counterclaim, as explained by Copyright Alliance, Nintendo has about 2 weeks to decide whether to sue. If it doesn't, Dolphin could then potentially be re-added to Steam. Now, why would it only potentially, right? If Nintendo fails to countersue, why would Valve not just add it back on? Come on, PC Gamer. Stop riding the fence. Hey, what's up, Carla? Tony, make a frog emulator. I should have a frog deck. I'm gonna have a little stream deck so I can hit the button and make little frog noises. I mean, we already have the cat noises. I just got to get the frog noises. So eventually we're going to get some frog noises, and then all you guys will be happy, you know. But we're going to get it. We're going to get it one of these days. All right. The question is whether Nintendo would truly pursue legal action in this case, and if it did, what would happen? A ruling in either direction would have far-reaching implications for emulation, as most, if not all, emulators of modern game systems could likely be held in violation of the DMCA's anti-circumvention provisions if Nintendo were to win the case. If a ruling went in Dolphin's favor, it would likewise be a major vindication for the emulation scene. Previous lawsuits to do with emulation, filed by Sony against Bleem and Connectix, both found that the emulators had not violated copyright with their use of the PlayStation BIOS and firmware. Those lawsuits have long been used as a precedent to uphold emulation as legal in the United States, but it's a complex topic. And Nintendo's case here would likely be argued on different legal grounds. So there you go. Even with the BIOS for PlayStation and the firmware, Sony still lost against Bleem and Connectix. The DMCA letter sent to Valve cites the anti-circumvention language of the DMCA and specifically claims that the Dolphin emulator operates by incorporating those cryptographic keys without Nintendo's authorization and decrypting the ROMs at or immediately before runtime. Thus, use of the Dolphin emulator unlawfully circumvents a technological measure that effectively controls access to a work protected under the Copyright Act. We're getting into the technical mumbo jumbo. For the time being, Dolphin will remain off Steam. Its GitHub page and website remain unaffected. The emulator developers have received no direct contact from Nintendo or takedown notices targeting the other places where the emulator is hosted. I wonder if that can be used as a sort of a legal challenge. Say, hey, if Nintendo's only coming after us for being on Steam, right? Nintendo's not coming after us for having it on the website, on the GitHub. Could this be used as sort of a, well, Nintendo's didn't do their due diligence, or Nintendo's just trying to attack Steam to keep anti-competition, right? Ooh, Joseph Santos says, Spider-Man 2 is already better than any Arkham game, especially live service ones. Oof. Nintendo can't stop emulation. They can't. They can't. They use it themselves, right? Haunted says, I got 3 pedal thing for my feet to use while playing gaming and writing shit without using the space bar. Did not know that this part is illuminating. Yeah, I didn't know this either. I hope Street Fighter 6 isn't a flop like Street Fighter 5. They released an incomplete game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Street Fighter 6. I'm very, very happy. Dolphin can just remove the key and have users find it themselves. Yeah, that's true. They could, point people to it the same way that Steam games remove some of the naughty stuff and then point people to a separate website. Nintendo has been doing horrid shit on the interweb. Yeah, because Nintendo, they're definitely the Disney of video games, right? Disney does horrible shit. Nintendo does horrible shit. Birds of a feather. It is with much disappointment that we have to announce that the Dolphin on Steam release has been indefinitely postponed. The Dolphin development team stated on its blog Friday, we were notified by Valve that Nintendo has issued a DMCA against Dolphin's Steam page and have removed Dolphin from Steam until the matter is settled. We are currently investigating our options and will have more in-depth response in the near future. I've asked Valve for comment on DMCA notice and will update this story if I receive a reply. So far, he has not. Like I said, I am very anti-emulation, anti-piracy. I'm of the opinion that if you can't afford something, then you shouldn't play it, right? If you can't afford the games, don't play them. I understand that there's games, the argument is always, well, there's certain games that are just really expensive for no reason, really rare games that no one can find, or games that are unavailable. And I get it, I do, but that still it's not an excuse, right? If the game is really expensive because it's rare, it is what it is. I guess you just don't get to play it. If the game is not available in your area for whatever reason, then maybe you need to petition people to allow it to be available in your area. Emulation went to Patreon, really moved the scene forward. Dolphin will bounce back with backers. Yeah, that's true. Dude was sentenced to $300+ of his income until he died, pretty much. Yeah, well, I mean, that wasn't Nintendo didn't do it. Nintendo just sued him. That was a judge that did that. Emulation is for preservation in the long run. Yeah, that's what people say. But in the short run, a lot of people are not using emulation to preserve games. They're using emulation because I don't want to pay for this game. I don't want to pay for that game. Or I don't want to give money to this evil company, but I still want to play their games, right? And the same way people are like, I don't want to give Disney my money, so I'm going to go pirate the latest movies. I mean, you're still helping them. They still know you want it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it goes to court. I really do. I want to see this pursued. This is the same way like we have issues on YouTube where people strike channels or companies do shenanigans and then people back off. I want to see this go to court. I want precedent to be set. I want a judge to rule on it. And then we can all be like, well, there's the line, right? The judge has ruled. There's the line. There's the legal system. And then we won't have to have these arguments anymore. What about Little Samson? How can people afford $2,000 to play an old NES game? What's the solution? The solution is just don't play it. You didn't play it when it was available for cheap. You don't need to play it. There's like no, imperative. If you don't play Little Samson, you won't die. You don't need it to live. It is entertainment. You want to play it. So now you have to decide, do you want to play it enough to spend $2,000 on it, right? If the answer is no, then you don't buy it and you don't spend the money. Yeah, see? 56 gets it. Just don't play, right? It's really that simple. There's so many games. It's not a case of where there's like 3 games and you're like, oh, man, if I don't buy Little Samson, or if I don't pirate Little Samson, I got nothing else to play. There's so many games, right? There's really no reason. Why aren't these old games being released so the public can play them? Because no one will buy them. That's the thing. That's the sad part, right? If they released Little Samson, they said, hey, we're re-releasing digitally Little Samson. The majority of people won't buy it. They'll be like, oh, it's overpriced. I don't want to pay $40 for a Little Samson. This should be a $5 game. There's no money in it for the companies to release the game. And then a lot of games, either the companies have gone out of business, they've changed hands, the licenses have moved from people to people. Sometimes the licenses are just sitting in a portfolio somewhere. And people don't actually want to do anything with them. They just want to hold on to them, license squatting. There's a lot of legal areas on these older things. So it is a case-by-case basis. So I don't know the exact details as to why Little Samson in particular isn't getting a re-release. But I know a lot of older games have issues. I'm not agreeing with you. You should be agreeing with me. Seriously, just don't play it. I mean, you don't need to. There's so many games. I have 500 games on my backlog, right? I can go without playing Little Samson. Right? There's no need. It is a want. You guys got to learn the difference between a need and a want. You don't need to play these games. You want to play these games, right? It's not like it's Little Samson isn't a human right. Okay, that's why it stands. Playing games is not a human right. So just don't play it. It's just that simple. All right, moving on before I alienate the entirety of my audience. Activision Blizzard was fined €5,000 over Diablo Immortal loot boxes. A measly sentence. So apparently, Activision Blizzard, they got fined, right? And the government cracked down on it and said, hey, these loot boxes, they're bad. Bad news, bad business. And then they only fined them €5,000. 5,000. They basically said the amount of money Diablo Immortal makes, I think they said it's like 4 or 40 minutes. Can't remember. They could have that 5,000 back that quick. Less than an hour, and they'll make $4,000. I just checked. Taito made Little Samson and is still around. You're a gaming racist. Am I? Let me see. Let's find out. Little Samson's a 1992 platformer. It was published by Taito, but it wasn't developed by Taito. It was published by Taito. It was developed by Takura, right? And Takura is out of business. So when Takura went out of business, I don't know who has their the license for Little Samson, who owns the IP. You guys got to understand, developers and publishers are two different things, right? So who owns the Little Samson IP now? I don't know. I mean, it seems to only have gotten middling scores. Sevens, not the best. Famitsu only gave it a 23 out of 40. Nintendo Power gave it a 3.8 out of 5. So, I mean, I don't see the need for people to play this, right? Not to get back on the tangent. Little Samson for the Amico. Tony's views on things is straight up 1985. Yeah, I'm a product of my generation. If it wasn't for reverse engineering, we would still be typing on IBM computers. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that the law is right. I'm not saying that the law should be a certain way. I'm saying simply that the law is what it is, right? If you wanted to change, instead of emulation, instead of trying to circumvent all of this, right? Petition the government, petition your congressman, make it an issue, make it a platform that you can run on and say, hey, we want to change the DMCA laws. We want to change the, emulation laws. We want to make it so a game that's been out of print or a company that's, folded, as soon as a company folds, the IP goes, into public domain, right? Or a game after so many years, public domain, right? That way, anybody could, if you want to, release a Little Samson, it's public domain. Anybody can release it. The Jam De Los Santos cut of Little Samson. But you guys don't want to do that, right? You guys just like, I don't want to fix the problem. I just want to have a short-term solution that helps me out. Screw future generations. Let them figure it out. I'm the kind of guy who wants to fix things so future generations don't have to have the same issues and problems that we have, right? That's all I'm saying. But back to Activision Blizzard. Peggy's enforcement committee has fined Activision Blizzard the rather paltry sum of 5,000 euros for failing to disclose the presence of loot boxes in Diablo Immortal. It has additionally fined PlayOn the same sum for omitting to tell the ratings board its limited Bounty Hunter edition of Hunt Showdown also contained paid random items. Since the amounts to violation of the rules described in Peggy Code of Conduct, the Peggy Enforcement Committee sanctioned both companies with a fine of 5,000 euros, Peggy has stated. As well as this fine, which honestly seems like pocket change for both companies and hardly much of a deterrent, both Activision Blizzard and PlayOn have been made to take, quote, immediate action to update relevant store listings and marketing materials, end quote, for their games. Eurogamer has contacted Activision and PlayOn for further comments on this fine. These companies are not only ones to see some form of reprimand for their in-game loot boxes. Earlier this month, it came to light that Sony had not appealed the Austrian loot box verdict, which ordered it to refund a number of Austrian FIFA players after a court ruled that FIFA Ultimate Team packs constituted a form of gambling. Meanwhile, research conducted in January suggests warnings for gamers with loot box style mechanics are inconsistent and unreliable. I think loot boxes should just be illegal. Just get rid of them. Just gone. Petition against billion-dollar companies. Yeah. There's a reason why America still has shady internet. It's true. But I'm saying, be the change you want to see. Like in this instance with the loot boxes, right? Again, gaming is the most lucrative business in the U.S., right? And yet somehow gamers are the most pressed upon demographic, right? No one is a gamer, right? Gamer being called a gamer is like, ew, that's a dirty word. Don't make gaming your identity is what they tell you. But gaming hobbyists, people who like games, people who play games, we don't really do much as far as social activism against companies taking advantage of us, right? Again, we should 100% be pressing all the people, when there's town halls, when the presidential town hall comes on and say, hey, we're going to ask this question. What question do you got? Be like, hey, what are you going to do about loot boxes? Isn't loot box gambling? We should get rid of loot boxes. Nobody asked that question, right? Nobody talks about it. No one's going to their local politicians. No one's going to anybody. We just complain on the internet. We just go on Twitter and we bitch and moan. Meanwhile, research conducted by Leon Y. Shao in cooperation with universities in Denmark, London, and the U.S., the study examined a randomized selection of smartphone games which have loot boxes and are available to download from the Google Play Store. The study aimed to find out how consistent loot box present warnings are across PEGI and the ESRB, as well as the consistency of age ratings on Google Play Store as overseen by the IARC. And that's it. And here is the little ruling from the PEGI. Both games were published in 2022, and although they contain random paid items like loot boxes or card packs, this was not disclosed to PEGI when the games were submitted for a rating license. Since this amounts to a violation of the rules described in PEGI code, the PEGI Enforcement Committee sanctioned both companies with a fine of $5,000. The companies have also taken immediate action to update relevant store listings. Really, why would you even find them? This is just ridiculous. This is like, hey, you can violate the rules as much as you want if you have money, because it's pay, right? Pay to make it legal. Now, that's what the current generation does, Tony. They go to social media to fix the problem, and it's not going to help. It's not going to help. It's not going to help. All right. Let's get to the main topic, right? Let's stop burying the lead. PlayStation Showcase 2023. Everything announced, from Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater to Spider-Man 2. Here's everything from today's event. Well, it's not today's event, right? This is a couple days ago, but this is posted May 24th, updated on May 25th. And we are now on the 27th. It's like 3 days ago. PlayStation finally pulled back the curtain on its PS5 lineup for this year and beyond in today's PlayStation Showcase 2023. Sony showed off a ton of upcoming games for PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2. I have no interest in the PSVR 2, VR 1, the Oculus Rift, none of that. Including the reveal of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, gameplay for Spider-Man 2, a first proper look at Dragon's Dogma 2, a release date for Alan Wake 2, a lot of twos, a lot of sequels, and a lot more. Read on to learn more. All right. Spider-Man 2 gets a lengthy gameplay showcase. I like this. I watched this twice, the Spider-Man 2 one. It was at the end of the showcase, and for good reason. And they went out with a bang, I think. Spider-Man 2 looks good. I'm very excited for it. Single player, even though you're going to be playing as both Spider-Man and Miles Morales, looks like there's going to be we have to switch between them during specific missions. You'll have to switch between them as to who you're playing. And then probably when you're roaming around the city, you'll be able to switch at will. It looks like Spider-Man is getting the symbiote suit and upgrades that go along with that, while Miles is getting new electricity-based powers and other upgrades. So the two should play similar but different, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Tackling different missions, different things with the two different characters and new abilities. I'm excited. Also, I love Kraven the Hunter. I know he's getting a movie coming out soon, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. I was always a big fan of Kraven. I like his gimmick. I like his whole demeanor. So definitely excited about this game. What else we got? Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake announced. Like I said earlier, I've never played a single Metal Gear Solid. I've never been a huge Kojima fan. Back when these games first got released, I didn't have that much money. I was more selective about what games I was buying. So I didn't buy these. I passed these up. But there's a collection coming out soon, so I'll probably pick that up. I do have Metal Gear Solid, was it 5? The Phantom Pain, because that came free with PlayStation. It says PlayStation announced a remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. None of the game itself was shown, as we instead got a big mysterious teaser trailer leading up to Snake's big reveal. And from my understanding, it's being called Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Not Triangle. I think IGN called it Triangle at one point. It's Delta. It's Delta. PlayStation also announced the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, which includes Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, which is coming to PlayStation 5 sometime this fall. Also, in that collection is the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So, if you haven't ever played those games, if you missed out on them, you'll get the chance, right? We were just talking about emulation. All right. PlayStation announced dedicated game streaming device. This feels like a cheap attempt, and we'll take a sidetrack here because I got a nice little image for us. Where is it? Boom! Look at that. And they also showed off some earbuds, PlayStation earbuds, but they showed off this little handheld device here, and I couldn't help but think, wow, this is a Switch, right? This is essentially a Switch. They're basically going to turn your PlayStation 5 into a mobile handheld device, because you still got to stream it. You're streaming it from the PlayStation 5 to this new handheld thing. So you're not, from my understanding from watching the video, you're not streaming it from the cloud. You're streaming it from your PlayStation 5 over remote Wi-Fi. It's going to be an 8-inch HD screen. So basically, they're like, hey, you know how you undock your Switch and you can just sit down and play it? We're going to give you that same ability, right? Boom. New handheld. So it seems interesting. If it runs, if it's able to actually run the games without stuttering, without any lag, if it does what it's supposed to do, then this will actually be really good. I see big potential for this. Big potential. All right. Especially with a lot of the games that are multi-plat. And, people were complaining, that you can't run certain games on the Switch that well. Well, now you're essentially going to have, like I said, you'll essentially have a Switch, but it's a Sony dedicated Switch, right? So, boom, you'll be able to play through your PlayStation 5 on the TV. And then if you want to lay in the bed or sit on the couch while someone else is watching TV, you'll have this nice little handheld. So this could actually cut into the Switch's market. And it's possible, right? They're not saying anything now, but it's possible that they'll be able to use this screen like a Wii U type thing, right? There might be a Wii U type situation going on in the future where you use it as a controller and then you got dual screen, things going on the screen, things going on. You'll be able to play those card games that Tommy always talked about because you'll have a screen on your controller. So, yeah. Sony announced a device codenamed Project Q that will allow players to stream any game from their PlayStation 5 console using remote play over Wi-Fi. It has an 8-inch HD screen and all buttons and features the DualSense controller has. No release date was given for this new hardware. Sony also revealed the first official PlayStation 5 earbuds. Might have to get me some of those. I might have to call up my man here. say, hey, what's up? What's up with this? I'm gonna need some of them earbuds. I need some of those earbuds. You need a PS5 though. It's a tethered device. Sony being lazy. That's what I'm saying. Like it is. You're still tethered to your PlayStation 5, so it's still going to be. You can't take it anywhere, right? But you'll be able to take it around your home. So, when you're sitting on the toilet, you'll be able to like, oh man, I'm playing a lot of Street Fighter. I'm playing a lot of, Skyrim. You're like, oh, I gotta take a poo. Like you just take your little handheld right in the pooper. Assassin's Creed Mirage gets October release date. I've never been a fan of the Assassin's Creed games. They always look kind of boring to me. I played, what was it, 3, 4? The one where you play as the Native American fighting the British. Played that one. I think it's 4. Wasn't that much impressed. Wasn't really impressed. But again, people say you got to go back. You got to play those older ones. You got to get into it. Get the lore. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a copy of the original Assassin's Creed. Play that. Then I bought all the Assassin's Creeds that were available on PlayStation 5. So after I play the original one on original hardware, then I'll go ahead and jump over to the PlayStation 5 emulated versions. The next Assassin's Creed game, the smaller in scope Assassin's Creed Mirage, is coming on October 12th to Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC, and Amazon Luna. That's still a thing, Amazon Luna? PlayStation revealed a new feature called Assassin's Focus, which lets you mark and assassinate several targets in a row. Yeah, that's not going to be abused. All right, Alan Wake 2 is coming on October 17th. Remedy showed off another look at Alan Wake 2, the long-awaited horror sequel. The trailer showed Alan Wake return, who appeared to be trapped in a dark place. This time, Wake is joined by a new playable character, Saga Anderson, who is joining Alan in his investigation. The game is coming on October 17th. Now we're going to take a side trip because this has been a hot-button issue. A lot of people apparently were really waiting for this. I've never played Alan Wake. Again, was very selective with my gaming back in the old days. But people are very upset because Alan Wake 2 will be digital only to keep price below $70. The game is $60 on console and $50 on PC. Remedy Entertainment revealed that Alan Wake 2 will be a digital-only release across all platforms. In a frequently asked questions page on the Alan Wake website, Remedy explained, there are many reasons for this. For one, a large number have shifted to digital only. You can buy a Sony PlayStation 5 without a disc drive, and a Microsoft Xbox Series S is digital-only console. It is not uncommon to release modern games as digital only. Ooh. And gamers are not happy. I'm digital only myself. I don't foresee myself playing these in the future. I have no beliefs that I'm going to be playing these in 50 years. World War III is right around the corner. I got a lot more important things to worry about. Remedy continued by saying that not releasing a disc helps keep the price of the game at $60 on console and $50 on PC. All right, so what a lot of people don't realize, y'all been to Best Buy lately? Barely anything on the show floor. Future been in motion for decades. Yeah, it is. You need to be the head of marketing, advertise the PlayStation while taking a dump. Here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize this, right? A lot of people think that digital games should be cheaper, right? It makes sense. You go, if the digital game is $70, how is the physical game $70, right? And you're like, well, they should be cheaper, right? Digital should be $60 and the physical should be $70, right? Because it makes sense that physical is a product. You have to buy it, manufacturing, shipping it, doing all the stuff that entails with physical, and you don't have that with digital, right? But what people fail to realize is the reason that digital is not cheaper than physical is because stores who carry physical games, like Walmart, like the biggest retailer, right? They will not allow Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo to make games cheaper digital only, right? Because if a game is cheaper digitally, then people will be less likely to buy the physical. In that case, why is Target, Walmart, these other stores, why are they carrying the games, right? They'll see a decline in sales, but if it's comparable, right, if it's the same price, then people might buy the physical. People might be inclined to say, hey, I'll just pick up the physical because it's the same price. So that's the reason why. That's the main reason why, right? There's some other factors, server cost, but realistically, a lot of the decisions that are made as to why a retail price is what it is to do with the fact that the retailers need to make money. And if they feel like they're not going to make money because you're offering cheaper games at digital prices, digital versions, cheaper prices, they're not going to be happy about that. So, it's one of those moments where, yes, it makes sense that it should be, but there is a reason why it's not. The studio didn't want to ship a disc and have it require a download for the game either, as it wouldn't be a great experience. There are also currently no plans to produce a physical copy of Alan Wake. So there's the little tweet. Since the standard version of the game is kept at a lower price point, the digital deluxe edition will cost $70. It includes the expansion pass containing the Night Springs expansion and Lake House expansion, a Parliament shotgun skin, and celebrity suit for Alan, as well as a Nordic shotgun skin, Crimson Windbreaker, and Lantern Charms for Saga. Those who pre-order the game will receive the ornate revolver skin for Alan and survival resource pack for Saga. It's interesting to see some publishers refuse to increase their prices on new releases, as others like Nintendo and Microsoft did with the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Redfall, respectively. Redfall, we're going to charge you more money for a game that's not even finished. However, those two games were also available in physical disc. Alan Wake 2 launches on October 17th, blah, 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 blah. It's interesting to know that THQ Nordic actually put out a tweet, and I don't have it up, but they put out a tweet saying they would help make a physical version of Alan Wake 2 if Remedy wanted to get into some sort of partnership for it. So, mobile is the real mover to digital. Look at the countries that primarily use mobile phones as a communication device. Yeah. And if you work in logistics, there's levels to this shit. People thinking A to B. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things, right? What seems like such a simple notion. This is digital. It should be cheaper than this because it's physical, because it's an actual product. There's so many levels. There's so many things that go into it. That's why when Tommy was always like running his mouth about manufacturing, right? You can tell when someone who has no experience manufacturing would just say stupid shit like, "Oh, we can make 3,500 consoles an hour, and then when we get it all ready, and everything's cranking out, we could just, turn it up, and we'll be able to make 10,000 an hour." Like, no, that doesn't work like that, right? You wouldn't be working slower than maximum, right? When you're manufacturing as fast as you can. That's the point, right? To get it out as fast as you can. So if 10,000 an hour is what you can do, you're going to do 10,000. You're not going to do 3,500 an hour and then waste everybody's time and have everybody, getting paid for more months to make these products when you could go at 10,000. Makes no sense. Tommy makes no sense. All right, back to the Sony showcase. Final Fantasy 16 gets a new trailer ahead of its next month launch. Not excited. I used to be a huge Final Fantasy nerd. Final Fantasy was my jam. Every release I got it like day one. Loved Final Fantasies until Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 13 killed my love for the franchise. Killed it. And it seems like Final Fantasy 16 is less Final Fantasy and more Devil May Cry. There's even an arcade mode in which you get scores for fighting enemies, right? Because it's an action RPG, so you're going to fight the enemies and you'll be able to do combos and rack up higher scores, and there'll be a leaderboards. They said there's going to be leaderboards for the game in various modes with different score mechanics and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, this is not Final Fantasy anymore. Hell, the director of Final Fantasy was actually talking about getting rid of the numbering on Final Fantasy. It's probably time we get rid of the number. I'm not a big fan of this. A new Final Fantasy 16 story trailer debuted ahead of its fast approaching June 22nd release date. We got to look at Clive interacting with a ton of characters around Valisthea, along with glimpses of a ton of new and returning Final Fantasy monsters. Dragon Dogma 2 gets a new trailer. I didn't even realize they were coming out with it, too. Dragon's Dogma 2 was finally officially unveiled today at the PlayStation Showcase with a new trailer showing a ton of monsters, including an enormous dragon, of course. This marks the first new mainline Dragon's Dogma game in over a decade. And we know very little about the sequel other than it's being developed in the RE engine. I didn't even know that there was spin-offs to Dragon's Dogma. I thought that thing just flopped. And, I never even played it. But the little trailer for 2 looked pretty decent. I might have to end up going back and picking up Dragon's Dogma so I can catch up and see what the hell's going on before picking up 2. I hate when this happens. I hate when games come out with a nice, really looking sequel, really good looking sequel, and I'm like, man, I really want to get that, but now I got to go back and play all the games in the franchise in order to get me up to speed. Apparently, there's been a Dragon Dogma Online. It was a free-to-play, and now the sequel. So, it's also a TV series. Jesus. They give everything a TV series. Numbering is so basic. A new marathon? Yeah. I seen that. I was just thinking about a remastered marathon last night. Oh, look at you, Wisp. You're psychic. Bungie announces new marathon. Bungie announced a new entry in the Marathon series. Marathon is the first-person shooter Bungie originally released on Mac in 1992, making this a pretty deep cut from Bungie to return to. The game isn't a direct sequel to the originals, but Bungie says it belongs in the same universe. According to PlayStation, the game is PvP-focused and won't feature a single-player campaign. So you're getting a new Marathon, but it's all PvP. So, I mean, I probably won't pick it up then. Right? Apparently, it's going to be an extraction shooter, as they call it. Not really looking forward to it now. I'm a first-person single-player type person, not a PvP. I like that. Whis is down for that. He wants to shoot other people. I'm not an online gamer. I don't like it. It means I don't have to spend time programming NPC interaction. The NPC are the people you play against online. That's why I don't play with people online. Got a new look at Street Fighter 6's story mode. This was interesting. The little My Story trailer. I'm pumped for Street Fighter 6. I know some people are turned off by the more urban vibe. I like it. It's more gritty. It's more street. Just like the name, Street Fighter, right? It's more street. It's more gritty. Excited. Street Fighter 6 is out next week, and Capcom shared a trailer of the game's story mode. This will see players traveling and facing off against the game's roster of Street Fighter favorites and newcomers. I'm hoping that when the DLCs all drop, that they drop with additional story mode stuff. Because I hate when you add a bunch of characters, then you don't have any extra story mode. They're just there. Jade Ramon's Haven Studio reveals Fair Games. Fair Games PlayStation Showcase. This thing was just weird. I wasn't very excited by this. Sony kicked off the event by revealing Fair Games, which is coming from Jade Ramon's Haven Studio. The game is about a competitive heist experience coming to PS5 and PC about robbing the ultra-rich. The trailer started with an image of hacking before seeing groups of people attempting to break into banks. It appears to have a science fiction bend as the characters were wielding very advanced-looking weaponry. No release window was given for the game. It's basically a Payday, but like sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi Payday. And again, I'm not really into that. You know, if it's single player, maybe that's a thing. But if it's just like a multiplayer online thing, the Talos Principle 2 is coming this year. Crow Team sequel to the Talos Principle is coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC this year. The game was announced back in 2021, and details since its reveal have been slim. The sequel is set to expand the first game's philosophical themes and stunning environments with increasingly mind-bending challenges. I never played the first one. So I'm not really. Foam Stars is a Splatoon-like shooter from Square Enix. Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I was like, man, they're trying to get some of that Splatoon money. I don't think it has the same appeal. It seemed to be more, I don't want to say, Splatoon is aimed at kids. This seemed to be more like preteens, right? Like, oh, look, it's a little more preteen, a little more, not quite adult, but still not totally kiddie. Square Enix revealed a first look at Foam Stars, which appears to be a Splatoon-like team shooter. The gameplay looked like characters were competing to cover the ground with as much foam as possible, and many fans in the chat were saying it looked like Splatoon mixed with Persona. The game is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Yeah, it pretty much did look like Persona models mixed with Splatoon. In Splatoon, you can go into the ink and then, fast travel through the ink. In this one, it showed people riding on top of the foam, but like a little like surfboards. So it's like, hey, we got the same mechanics, but we're going to change it. We're going to change the homework just enough so the teacher doesn't catch us. Haunted Whiff says, I like Crow Team. They branched off from Serious Sam. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Moonsoon? Not really a big fan. All right. A new look at adorable indie, The Plucky Squire. This one, I like the look of it. I like the little like storybook look. And then when he jumped out of the story, I was like, oh man, even the 3D. So it's like a mix of 2D, 3D, storybook, realistic. It looked good. The Plucky Squire looks like an adorable, fresh take on a top-down action adventure, and we got a new look at the game and trailer today. The gameplay showed the Plucky Squire adventuring between storybook settings and a real-world living room. The game looks like it will constantly be shaking up the gameplay with all the different storybook settings the characters hop into. Look good. This is one indie to watch. Phantom Blade Zero is a new hack-and-slash RPG. I thought this was going to be a Neo, right? I was like, oh, this is seemed familiar, but then boom, it was like Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero was revealed today, a new hack-and-slash RPG set in the Phantom World, a place where Chinese kung fu, steampunk, and more converge. The game will feature fast-paced sword combat taking place in a bleak and punishing semi-open world. The game does not yet have a release date or release window. It looked good. I was excited. This is one that got me excited. New franchise, new thing to get into. Look fast-paced. Look exciting, interesting. You have 66 days to live. I wonder if that's going to be a mechanic in the game or if that's just going to be for story purposes. I'm excited. Ghost Runner 2 announced for 2023. Ghost Runner 2, a sequel to One More Level's action platformer, was revealed today. The new gameplay prominently featured vehicular combat with players riding at high speeds on a motorcycle. The game is coming sometime in 2023. This one I could do without. I wasn't really excited. Arrowhead's Helldivers 2 announced. Helldivers 2, a PlayStation Showcase trailer. We got confirmation of a sequel to 2015's Helldivers, the co-op action shooter from Arrowhead Game Studios. The sequel appears to maintain much of the same satirical dystopian elements of the original, as the trailer kicked off with a comedic television advertisement. Plenty of gameplay was shown with frantic third-person shooting in tons of different biomes. The game is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC this year. Again, it looked good. The little tongue-in-cheek advertisement looked good. But it seems to be a multiplayer thing, and again, I'm not into this multiplayer stuff. I'm on single player. Giant Squid reveals Sword of the Sea. Abzu and the Pathless developer Giant Squid has revealed its next project titled The Sword of the Sea. The game takes place in an abandoned world where the terrain flows in constant waves, where you control a new movement mechanic known as the hover sword. This controls like a snowboard, skateboard, and hoverboard all in one. It looked okay. It looked like one of those indie games where people are just like, really into it because of the aesthetic, and they're like, oh, it's just nice and calm, and it's not for me. It just seems like a waste of time. Resident Evil 4 Remake VR mode, I don't care. Five Nights at Freddy Help Wanted 2, announced for late 2023. I thought Five Nights at Freddy's, all that excitement was over. But we got a movie coming out when they got a new Help Wanted. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. Gris creator reveals Neva coming 2024. This was a confusing trailer because I don't think there was any gameplay show. It was like a, I don't want to call it anime influenced, but it was like very anime-esque. We seen a bunch of birds falling out of the sky, some big wolf, a chick that looked like she had a sword. The darkness attacked the wolf. It was just really weird. It was a really weird trailer. From the makers of indie hit Gris comes Neva, a beautiful painterly adventure with a striking art style. The game is scheduled for sometime next year. Like I said, we didn't really get a lot of what it was. Is it going to be an action game, platformer, 2D, 3D? Anime for guys like to draw name miner. Weird as fuck. Moon Says I really hope Alone in the Dark will be good. The new Nightmare on Dreamcast is underrated. I've never played any Alone in the Darks. Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean is coming next year. This looked good. I like this. The other two Cat Quest games I still haven't played. Now this is like, again, now that this came out and I was like, this looks good. Now I got to go back and play Cat Quest 1, Cat Quest 2. Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean was officially revealed at today's event, showing a swashbuckling twist on the original Cat Quest. These kitties are searching for a mythical artifact across adorable pirate-themed landscape. The game is coming sometime next year. It looks good. It looked fun. Right? And games are supposed to be fun. That's what it looked like. Towers of Agahasaba is a Breath of the Wild like coming next year. This one looked good too. I'm not going to lie. Striking visuals. It looked like it was going to be had an interesting premise. Towers of Agahasba wears its Breath of the Wild influence on its sleeve, showing a character navigating landscapes with a paraglider. There's a heavy nature influence here as we see tons of huge beasts and animals throughout the trailer. I'm excited. This was a good one. I like this one. I like this trailer. It's probably day one for me. Day one. Revenant Hill is coming to PlayStation 4 and 5. This one, I believe this is from the guys who did, Night in the Woods, right? And there was that whole controversy with Alex Hoka from Night in the Woods. He killed himself after accusations were made about him. False accusations were made about him. The guy who did this game was part of the Twitter mob that went after Alex. So I don't know how these people can just, walk away from these things, right? He was part of a mob, a Twitter mob that got somebody to kill themselves, and he's making a new game, acting like it's no big deal. Revenant Hill is a new adventure coming from the makers of Night in the Woods. The teaser shows a black cat running through side-scrolling, hand-drawn landscapes. We don't know much about this new title, but it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is coming this winter. Are you excited? Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is coming this winter to PS5, PS4, and PC. The game was announced way back in 2016 and is finally coming out this year. Platinum Games was originally on board to develop alongside Cygames, but the two parted ways in 2019. More updates are scheduled for sometime this summer. This is another one that looked like it was a multiplayer, online, MMO type game. Not mine. Not my cup of tea. Ultros is a colorful Metrovania coming next year. Ultros is a side-scrolling platform with amazing colorful art coming next year for the PlayStation 4, 5, PC. We got our first look at the game today. This one looked okay. It's very colorful, very vibrant, but I didn't like the art style. Right? It definitely has a style. It's not like thrown together. It's all aesthetically the same, but I just don't like it. It's just not my cup of tea, right? So just based on the art style alone, I'm probably going to pass on this one. It's probably going to be a decent game too, but I'm going to pass because to me, it just looks ugly. It looks ugly. Don't like it. And look at Perfect World Games' Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy is an open-world sci-fi game coming from Hada Studio. We got to look at the game's bright, colorful landscape and fast-paced combat today. This one looked interesting. We'll see what it is when we get more information. I'm always weary, right, of these open world. So, 4 new PS VR games revealed: Crossfire, Sierra Squad, Arizona Sunshine 2, Synapse, and Beat Saber. Again, I have no interest. Plus Resident Evil 4. No interest in VR. No interest. Firewalk's Concord is coming next year to PS5 and PC. Concord is the first original AAA project from Firewalk Studios, and it's a new PvP multiplayer game set in a science fiction universe. Another PvP shooter. That's what we need. A new gameplay trailer for Immortals of Avium. This one I didn't like. It looked like you're shooting magic bullets out of your hand, and I didn't like it. Ascendant Studios shares some fresh gameplay from Immortals of Avium, the single-player first-person magic shooter that's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, and that's it. That was everything. There was some nuggets in there. There was some definitely some gold. There was also some brass, some tin, a little bit of copper. But I don't know. I think it was good. 56 says Steam Deck opened my eyes to indie games. I have it, and I gotta play it. I'll probably take my Steam Deck when I go to too many games. Right? I have something to play at the hotel. Either the Steam Deck or I'll pack the Switch. We'll see. Probably the Steam Deck. Probably the easiest. Got the carrying case. Just, boom. It'll be all good. All right, we got some more information on Metal Gear Solid. Playdate opened my eyes to cranking it. What's up, Albert? I don't crank it on the Playdate. I know some people like Playdate, but to me, it's just too gimmicky. Metal Gear Solid Collection will also include the first 2 Metal Gear Solid games. Konami finally announced Metal Gear Solid, blah, blah, blah. And we don't know this. This is what we wanted to hear. All right, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid, including VR missions / special missions, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty HD Collection version, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, also the HD Collection version. So if you're like me and you haven't played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, now's the time, right? You're going to get 3 of them plus the original 2 Metal Gear games. Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge, not included. I'm pretty sure Snake's Revenge is not canon to the Metal Gear Solid universe. That was the America only game. Metal Gear Solid 1998 is just one of the best games ever made. I know everyone says it's really good, and I've never played it. It's including the NES ones. It's including just those 2, Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I think Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake was on the Master System. Let me see. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake is a developed for the MSX2 computer platform. It serves as a direct sequel to the MSX2 version of the original Metal Gear. So that's the one you're getting. Is the it was available on the MSX2, that home computer shit. And then eventually it was ported to the mobile phones, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3. But this is one you've probably never played before. I've never played it. I played the original Metal Gear, the NES release. I don't know if they're getting the NES version of Metal Gear or if you're getting the MSX version. Be interesting to know. There's also the Commodore 64 version, the DOS. So it'll be interesting. I'm guessing you're not getting the NES one. Tony's shilling for Metal Gear. I'm not shilling. I like the original Metal Gear. It's fun. Got cigarettes. No Metal Gear Solid 4? No. Because these are just the previous HD versions. And you're getting the Metal Gear Solid 3 is getting a remake / remaster anyway. And then they'll probably remaster Metal Gear Solid 4. So there's that. All right, I think that's it. I think we're pretty much gone through all the fucking things that we need to go through. Look at that. A nice felt hour. All right, so real quick, while we're here, I want to give a big shout out to Haunted Wisp. He's still on the top of the leaderboard. Haunted Wisp, the first member, the original member, the OG of the crew. We have 31 members right now. If you haven't become a member, maybe think about it. Maybe consider becoming a member for 99 cents. You get all the benefits of being a member and giving me 99 cents every month. I'm going to eventually have emojis, emoticons, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to fix up the badges. We have member-only polls sometimes when I remember. I really gotta, what started off as a joke blossomed into 31 of you guys giving me money every month. So any games with cigarettes is good for me. Go-Go 13. I loved Go-Go 13. I didn't even know it was an anime when I was playing it on NES. We used to love that game. Yeah, 56K says you got my mug in the mail. Good. I need to take a picture of it while I take a shit. I don't know about that. That's maybe not. Yeah, give the frog your 99 cents, damn it. That's right. The more money that you guys give me, the more YouTube pushes me. YouTube's like, oh, that guy's making money. We should push his channel. The mug can be used as a drool cup. We're actually going to have mugs that say official Geek Getaway drool cups. I don't know how many we're going to sell, right? But we're gonna eventually offer them in the store. Maybe on a limited time basis. Get it while you can. Limited time only. All right, so Potion Sword Run is also a member. Let's shout him out. Aston Vandal, Aaron World Order, Finbar Saunders, Sweet and Tender, Hooligan, Tommy Miko, Blinded Braille, You Super J, Anna Wilson, No Call, No Show, Jay Cuts, Joshua Perez, Miko Chen, Mike Hawk Hertz, Evil Streams, 56K Warning, Codeine TV. that guy snuck in there. Beefy Bites, 56K Warning, the CJH Entertainment, Carla Acosta, Bull ZG, the Rabbit Dude, Miss Susie Satin, Jamie C, Mince McVahan, Luke's Awakening, a Logical Raptors fanatic, Anthony Beltry, and of course, Justin Beard. Thank you guys for being members. I appreciate it. I know I'm not offering you the biggest benefit being members, but I'm trying. All right. And what do we got? One more thing, and it's just the polls, right? Gotta go over the polls. I don't think we had that many this week because keep forgetting. I gotta get on it. All right. Wow. Yeah. It's gonna be a really short poll. Really short poll. All right. 5 days ago, do you support the Hollywood writers' strike? The choices were yes, no, or don't care about it either way. And just like me, most of you, 141 votes, 55% of you said don't care about it either way. Do not care. 32% said yes, they support it, and 13% said no, they don't support the writers' strike. Personally, I think it's overblown, right? The idea that they're not getting paid a living wage, there's too many writers. It's like if you're not getting paid enough, don't work, right? Why are you taking jobs if you're not making money? I don't understand this. If I worked at my job and they're like, we're going to give you $9 an hour, I'm like, I can't afford to live on $9. Like, well, we're giving you $9 an hour, Tony. That's all we're going to give you. I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting a new job. I guess I'm not doing the thing that I do anymore, right? Because if the thing that you're doing doesn't pay you enough, then do something else. And then if Hollywood's like, oh, hold up, wait a minute, we'll pay you more, that's on them. But to just suddenly, like in the middle of, just like, we're just straight. What are you gonna do? What is a Hollywood? Hollywood is a evil place of debauchery and sin. So now you know. All right. In case you missed it, I did review Cyber Citizen Shockman. Give a little thumbs up. Thumbs that up. Check it out. It's a nice little Jaguar game, right? PC Engine. So I would suggest you check it out. It's pretty fun. It's a little short. A little tricky to get the hang of, but once you get the hang of how it moves and the jumping, it's a fun game. All right. If there is no Amico console ever coming out, does that mean the haters won? 119 votes. 76% of you overwhelmingly said yes. Haters won. Gaming racist are in charge. Tommy BTFO'd. 24% of you were confused, hit the wrong button, said the haters didn't win. Don't forget, the real Amico Forever is on this channel every Wednesday. All right, 2 days ago, I asked you, what is the next Intellivision Amico game to go multi-platform? And this is a close race. 107 votes. The choices were Finnegan Fox, Moon Patrol, Cloudy Mountain, Breakout, and other. Put answer in the comments. 34%, just barely squeaking by with a victory. Finnegan Fox. Moon Patrol was in second place with 33%. Cloudy Mountain, 16%. Breakout, 15%. And other, just 3%. And we'll go into the comments and see what those other games are. We got to sort by new because, of course, we do. All right, JM Del Santos is making us aware that DJC banned a Super Chat donor for simply asking, what if Tommy comes back? That damn DJC. 1-inch biceps. Bet it's one of the built-in ones, how the deals have been structured. I said cornhole. He says, that's a good pick. I was having trouble remembering the packing titles. Joel Zanoli says, skiing or darts? JM Del Santos says, the problem with this, Tony, is as I mentioned before, a lot of Amico games such as Care Bears, Rigid Force Redux, and Evil Knievel are multi-platform already. A graphically enhanced Finnegan Fox may appeal to kids since it's a cartoony Fox and Forest. That's a good point, right? Like, technically, Finnegan Fox is already multi-platform. JM also said E.T. Tommy promised the Atari creep he would be the one piloting the project. It's piloting. Sweet and Tender. Finicum Cox. What? Sweet and Tender with the weird one. Hugh Super J says Earthworm Jim 4. They were never working on it. I don't even think they had the license or permission. Finnegan Fox is already multi-platform as Fox and Forest, says Joshua Perez. 56K Warning says Finnegan Fox could easily milk physical release with the original game. That is true. That's true. They could bundle it. Original Finnegan Fox, Fox and Forest, alongside the new one. Well, that's it. Short show, hour and a half. Nice, svelte hour and a half. It's a lot shorter when there's no one here to argue with, when no one's giving me shit over my hot takes. Like I said, I'm feeling under the weather. I'll probably turn in early today and get my beauty rest. That way I could be well, excited, energetic for tomorrow so we could stream. Like I said, we're going to stream Replicator and Dark Quest 3. 56K Warning says, don't need to be long, just content. Yeah. So. It brought everyone's attention. It brought everyone's awareness of the debt ceiling debacle to full fuck. What the hell? You talking about Wisp? What are you guys off on political things now? All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all once again to the people who are members of the channel. Consider being a member for 99 cents. Also, we have a merch store. Consider maybe picking up a t-shirt, some stickers. We got mouse pads. We got mugs. So, maybe pick up some merchandise. I'd appreciate that. It'd be really appreciative. And again, if you're going to be at Too Many Games in June, maybe I'll see you there. Maybe you won't see me there, but I'll definitely see you there, right? But as always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.